While, according to our way of thinking, this conference took place between the three persons of the divinity, our infant queen was strengthened and consoled in her humble solicitude concerning the first exercise of her speech. The Lord promised her that he would govern her words and assist her to direct them all toward his service and pleasure. Then she petitioned his majesty anew for his permission and blessing to open her lips so full of grace, and, being prudent and considerate in all things, she spoke her first words to her parents, Saint Joachim and Anne, asking of them their blessing, and thus acknowledging that from them, after God, she had her life and being. The happy parents heard her, and at the same time they saw that she was able to walk by herself. The happy Anne, in great joy of her spirit, took her into her arms and said, "My daughter and beloved of my heart, blessed and glorious to the Lord be the hour in which we hear thy words and in which thou beginnest to walk in his holy service. Let thy words and sayings be few, well measured and considered, and let thy footsteps be directed aright toward the service and honor of our Creator." The most holy child heard these and other exhortations of her holy mother Anne, and she engraved them in her tender heart to preserve them in profound humility and obedience. During the year and a half which remained of the three before her departure into the temple, she spoke but few words besides those addressed to her mother, for holy Anne, in order to hear her speak, was wont to call her and request her to speak of God and his mysteries. The heavenly child fulfilled her wish, listening to and asking questions of her mother. She that excelled in wisdom, all the women born desired to learn and to be instructed. Thus the daughter and the mother passed their time in sweetest colloquies concerning the Lord. It would not be easy, nor even possible, to describe the doings of the heavenly child Mary during these 18 months of companionship with her mother. The latter shed copious and sweet tears of love and gratitude when at times she looked upon her child, more venerable than the symbolic Ark of the Covenant. Yet never did Anne reveal the secret of her heart that her daughter was chosen to be the mother of the Messiah, although they often spoke of this ineffable mystery. At such times the child was inflamed with the most ardent love, and she spoke of it in the most exalted terms, innocently extolling her own dignity without being aware thereof, while her most blessed mother, holy Anne, was filled more and more with joy, love, and solicitude for her daughter and her heart's treasure. The strength of the tender child was by far inadequate for the fulfillment of the exercises and practices of humility to which her humble love urged her on. For this mistress of all creatures esteemed herself the lowest of them all, and was anxious to exhibit these humble sentiments in her actions by taking upon herself the most abject and servile occupations of the household. She feared that if she did not serve all that were with her, she could not satisfy her obligations, and would fall short of her duty in the sight of the Lord. While the real cause of her not performing all that she wished was none other than the insufficiency of her bodily forces, and while the highest seraphim would have kissed the place where her sacred feet had touched, yet she was often full of holy fear lest she be deprived of doing the most humble services, such as cleaning and scrubbing the house. As she was not always permitted to engage in such things when others were present, she tried to do it when alone, being on such occasions assisted by the holy angels, and thus in a measure reaping the fruit of her humility through their help.